See, this is essentially what they're asking for in this one sentence. And I haven't even read it yet. But like, listen, this is literally what I said. The contractor shall explain in the quote how the company intends to do this. Again, don't just pare it back and say that you're going to. They're saying, I want you to tell me how. How are you going to do it, man? This is a really good question. Owen Black, can you give me an example of how to respond to something by not simply restating it? Speech language therapist unrestricted. Due May 1st. Small business set aside 621-340 for Office of Physical, Occupational, and Speech Therapist. I think I need a speech therapist personally for my throat. For documents, we have solicitation doc, and then we have 2 amendments, and you can tell that by just reading the nomenclature, the naming file convention here for these 2 files. You don't have to open it up to know that. Albuquerque, New Mexico, contracting office with Leah Azor. Leah Azor. I don't know if she rolls her R's or not in her name, but I did. So again, this is speech language therapy. Gonna have to refill on tea here soon. It's at 1449. Period performance is going to be March 1st through February and go for 2 option periods. And we know that's wrong because it's already April 5th. So I say this often. For those of you guys who, what was I going to say? Yeah, for those of you guys who freak out because they're like, oh my gosh, like this bid is due like in 2 days and then the POP starts like next Monday. Not always, but very often, very, very often, that POP, that period of performance, it's going to get pushed back. Very often these days, they have to put something on paper, right? There has to be a contract, but then very often that stuff gets kicked back, especially if there was like delays in the procurement process, maybe there's lots of amendments, lots of due date extensions are needing to be issued, whatever the case. But as we can see here, this work is supposed to start March 1st. We're already over a month past that. So expectations versus reality for this contract are far surpassed, or I should say underpassed, maybe. So this is a part-time position for a speech language therapist. This is staffing. This is a staffing contract part-time, very, very part-time. It's like 3 months out of the year. So it's not going to be like probably 3 months and then done. It's probably going to just be sporadic, intermittent, however many times per month. But nonetheless, they want you to price per hour. And guys and gals, you don't have to middleman this. You can self-perform some of this stuff, especially when it comes to like admin, staffing, office management. Get your butt on Indeed, okay? Get your butt on ZipRecruiter. Find a speech language therapist. Get their resume. Discuss their pay. Of course, once you kind of figure out what you want to do, but you can staff this person direct. You don't have to go to some staffing company. You don't have to go to a speech language pathology company or just an office. A lot of these people make themselves available for contract hire part-time. So introduction to offers. This is really important too. Simply stating, okay, listen, this is important. Simply stating that the company will perform in accordance to the statement of work or providing a copy of the solicitation response to the solicitation is considered unacceptable. The quote will be determined to be non-responsive and removed, thrown out, put into the paper shredder. So don't even waste your time. They don't want you to say that you're going to do it. They want you to tell them how you're going to do it. I say this all the time. Also, in terms of your price, they want it to be all-inclusive. All costs and expenses. But this is a staffing contract, so you're not going to have shipping, delivery, taxes. You might have travel, though. They're saying they want travel to be as part of your all-inclusive price. So don't miss that. And also don't just parrot back to them. Promise, if you just listen to this one sentence, you will become top 20% of offers received in this, and maybe they receive 4 or 6. So you're going to be like the top 2 or 3 just by listening to this one sentence and having a competitive price, because a lot of people are going to miss this. And this is for all contracts, but they don't often just spell it out to you this way. H price is book ordered. Got you. We will definitely get you taken care of here in just a second. For qualifications and capability. See, this is essentially what they're asking for in this one sentence. And I haven't even read it yet. But like, listen, this is literally what I said. The contractor shall explain in the quote how the company intends to do this. Again, don't just parrot back and say that you're going to. They're saying, I want you to tell me how. How are you going to do it, man? This is a really good question. Owen Black. Can you give me an example of how to respond to something by not simply restating it? Yes, it's a great question. So first off, let's look at what you shouldn't do. And then we'll talk about what you should do. That way we have the necessary context to speak to it in totality, right? Okay. What you don't want to do, so if the PWS, for example, if one of the important pieces is that the contractor, do I still have it pulled up? The janitorial one? No, I don't. But remember, just rewind in your brain a few seconds ago when we were talking about how contractor has to provide the paper towel, toilet paper, the soap, all that stuff for the janitorial contract. Good example, except for they were only asking for a price on that one, but it's still good practice, right? You could say, ABC, LLC, our company will provide all of the paper towel, toilet paper, soap, whatever for this contract. that's like saying what you will do. That's the parroting. That's the simply restating. That's what they don't want. That's what you shouldn't do. When you ask yourself how to write how you will do it, naturally your mind should switch over to a more like creative, more comprehensive way of thinking, because like you ask better questions, you get better answers. It's just the magic of how the human mind works, you know. When we switch to asking the question how, what isn't even really a question in this context because you're saying what, but how, you're literally asking yourself how. Okay, so how will we do this? Well, first off, here are the suppliers we're going to purchase from. Office, you know, Restaurant Depot, like whatever, right? Maybe there's some bulk online sellers. So who, right? We can speak to the who. This is all going to go into the how. So who are we going to purchase from? How about the when? Like how often are we going to purchase? Is it going to be like we purchase in bulk like every 6 months? Okay, and if so, where? Where is this going to be stored? Is it going to be stored at your facility? Is it going to be stored at the government facility? Do you need to use their storage closets? Ask them, is it okay to store on site? Because it will be more efficient and just more efficient to do so, and arguably cost effective from shipping. Instead of shipping it to your place and then you having to get it to that location, just drop ship it direct to the site and have your core receive that and stock it away, or your janitorial staff. So that's the where, right? That's the when. That's the who. The why, perhaps the why kind of gets into the strategy, and we kind of did just talk about that. Why? Because it's going to be more cost effective. So you could talk about the cost effectiveness of using the strategy as part of your overall how, right? I'm just spitballing here, but this should kind of get the ball rolling, and a good place to start is to just go through the who, the whens, the wheres, the whys. Okay, that will be one good way of approaching the how. And possibly whoever your teaming partner is or whatever, they can, especially if it's a more technical contract, you're going to need more technical jargon around it. And you should also work with them, have a meeting, have a proposal phone call to go over some of this stuff. Really good question.